Chapter 4. What happened to Tom in the palace? Tom was alone in the prince's room in Westminster Palace. He stood in front of the big glass on the wall and looked at his beautiful clothes. Then he walked up and down, still thinking how beautiful he looked. He put his hand on the sword at his side and drew it out. He played at fighting some unseen person with it. Then he sat down and thought, what a story I'll have to tell my sisters when I get home. A bell sounded. 1 whole hour had passed. The prince was a long time away. When will he come back? Tom wondered. He walked round the room looking at all the beautiful things in it, the finely made chairs and tables and the pictures on the walls. They were pictures of kings and princes, of queens and princesses, all in beautiful clothes with jewels, looking down on him with solemn eyes. There was a suit of armor near the door. Tom stood and looked at it. Then he took one of the arm pieces and put it on. It was a small suit of armor, and it was not too big for him. He took the other arm piece. A heavy round thing fell out of it. He put on the other pieces and looked at himself in the glass. Then he put everything back as he had found it. He did not know what the round thing was, but he put it back inside the arm piece. Another hour. Tom began to feel afraid. Someone will come and find me here and say, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" And the prince won't be here to tell them the truth, and they won't believe that I say. What shall I do? I must get out of here. Then he thought, perhaps there is no one in the next room. If I walk quickly and people don't see my face, I may reach the gate and the soldiers will let me out. So he opened the door. They were 4 gentlemen standing outside, 2 on each side of the door. They bowed low. "Oh, oh, oh," cried Tom, and he ran back into the room and shut the door. The gentlemen looked at each other. "I think Prince Edward is ill," said one. "Yes, perhaps he is," said another. "We should ask one of his sisters to go to him," said the third. "Lady Jane," said the fourth. "I'll go to Lady Jane." The door of the prince's room opened. Tom ran back to the far end of the room. He saw a beautiful girl standing at the door. Her face was kind. He fell on his knees. "What's the matter, my dear brother?" said Lady Jane. "Why are you on your knees?" "Save me," cried Tom. "I'm not your brother. I'm not the prince. I'm only a poor boy, Tom Canty of Pudding Lane." She took his hand. "Come," she said. "Send for the prince and ask him to give me back my clothes," cried Tom. "Come," said Lady Jane. "Your father wants to see you." "My father? Is John Canty here?" But Lady Jane led him through one great room after another. One of the gentlemen had told the king that Prince Edward was ill. Tom was led into a very big room. There were a bed in it, and on the bed he saw a fat man with a white face. King Henry VIII was very ill. He had no long time to live. "Come, Edward, tell your father the king. What is the matter?" "Are you the king?" said Tom. "Yes, of course. I'm the king, and I'm your father. What are you afraid of?" "Sir, I'm not your son. I'm not the prince. I'm poor Tom." The king looked at him angrily. "Stop this foolishness. You are the prince, and if you say that you are not the prince, I shall be very angry. And you know what I do to people when I am angry? Do you?" "Yes, sir," said Tom. "Now go. Let me hear no more of this foolish talk. You have been reading too many books, and they have turned your head. Lord Hertford, go with the prince. He must rest before going to the city banquet tonight. Many great men will be there to meet the prince, who will be the king when I am dead. Then come back." Tom was led away to the prince's room. After a short time, Lord Hertford came back to King Henry. "My lord," said the king, "I know that I haven't long to live, but the work must be carried on. Orders must be given and laws must be made, even when I am too ill to write my name or put my seal on them to make them a law. You must hold the great seal and use it for me." Yes, your majesty. It shall be as you say, said Lord Hertford. Will you order that the Great Seal should to put in my hands? You gave it to Prince Edward 2 days ago. Yes, I did. Go and ask the prince to give it to you. Lord Hertford went away and soon came back. Your majesty, he said, the prince doesn't know where it is. He doesn't know where it is? Did he say that? Yes, your majesty. He can't remember what he did with it? No, your majesty. He's ill. That's the reason. That's why he can't think. Yes, your majesty. Let's wait, said the king. He'll remember later when he is well.